This episode of the Gentlemen is sponsored by Galactic Civilizations 3. You are the leader of a spacefaring civilization, where humans and aliens compete for domination of our galaxy. Conquer through culture, diplomacy, technology, or military force. How will you rule your galaxy?
Welcome to the Gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen, sun's out, guns out, and we are on summer in Colodny Femra as well, which is appropriate. It is that time of the year again in Australia.
It is, yeah. It's not 1940 in Australia. There's also no British troopers here, but the next best thing, right? We're going to have Frost versus Pappy O'Daniel in the Company of Heroes 2 live game, so unfortunately no Winter Balance preview.
But that's cool. We've had some pretty great games on the live version, so hopefully we see a bit of a mix-up here. Players do something a little bit differently.
Yeah, I'm also
see some cool off-meta commanders.
Always glad to cast British because not a lot of people play them, especially not in tournaments. So we don't see a lot of British, unfortunately. And when we do see British, it's generally only one meta. I'm glad Pappy doesn't have the commander. I forget the name of it, but the one that Paula always uses, where you get the arty cover, the balance cover.
Balance cover,
and then you throw down the balance strike, and your Cromwells just win whatever fight they're in. Okay, this is the Archon Hawk wire, Archon Hawk Deluxe.
Archon Hawk Deluxe wire, so...
It's where you don't actually wire off the cover at all.
Yeah, dude, now he has to have it further out. Then there has to be like so much room that two Strum Pioneers can comfortably stand side by side inside of the wire.
Wow. Also, you put two wire horizontal as well.
Bro, don't hate, appreciate. Isn't that what you always say?
That is what I always say, Blake, you're right.
You do say that quite a bit.
So you actually didn't finish the other wire, but it still takes a while to blow the ghost wire up for the barricade. The improved wire barricades, whatever they're called.
Reinforced steel barricades.
Yeah, I know. I knew it said it right there, but I was...
You're trying not to look, I knew. I just thought I should...
I'm actually surprised the Volks are going for this house. They could have just charged up against the Tommies. They were pretty close. The Tommies generally lose up close, so long as the squad charging doesn't take too much damage.
Probably is to specifically deny the house in case there were another Tommy squad running up, which as it turns out there was. Already had the Strum Pioneers running up and they would have won the engagement as well. There was no additional cover that the Tommies could have taken. And overall, a well-microed engagement by Pappy O'Daniel. There are a lot of points there where you might have taken an engagement or just flat out retreated, but Pappy O'Daniel manages to use a soft retreat to find heavy cover and hopefully cap a couple of points here as well and not make this pressure by Frost too oppressive.
Yeah, you're right. You almost capped the point here, but actually cancelled it to get the cover. And he's going to be trading decently. It's going to be hard to charge for the negative cover, but he should be able to just trade this with two squads. Going for the house. No, there's actually Volks there to intercept. You're going for it. Oh, this is risky. Stern Pioneers as well actually retreats the Tommies.
Yeah.
Because Tommies can get some wipes at long range when you don't expect it, because the long range damage is so good.
Yeah, I was thinking Frost was either going to charge with the Volks Grenadiers while the Strums were being focused, or he was just going to stay in that cover. Instead he charges with the Strum Pioneers, and that was, a bold move to say the least. Thankfully the heavy cover actually blows up, and I think that's what caused Pappy O'Daniel's retreat. He no longer had heavy cover against the Volks Grenadiers, and therefore just would have traded terribly. Yep.
Pretty heavy tier 1 opener for Pappy. 3 Tommies into the Vickers. Now getting the Royal Engineers. Good flank with the Volks. Actually, there's no nades, so he probably could have just walked the Vickers back into the church.
Smart play by Frost, and now the church has actually gone over to OKW player. So overall, a very nicely played early game here for Frost. Yeah. So often you see the very best of unit movement and strategic play from the top tier players is really early on in the game. I find this is normally when I lose to high tier players.
Yeah.
It's just like I lose in the first 3 or 4 minutes of the game just because I could get completely outflanked and outmicroed, and all of my squads end up retreating to none of theirs. I have no territory anymore, and then they can just kind of maintain the pressure from there. So it's really crucial that your early game's good.
And then you have to try and attack into heavy cover, and you can never find good engagements, and it just goes badly from there. That being said, though, Frost couldn't capitalize too much because his squads were all low. He got the cutoff, but he couldn't stay in good sandbags for very long. So Pappy not going to be suffering too much from that retreat, just apart from some VP pressure. Dropped down to 450 already. And double munis points too, actually, is pretty important.
Certainly helps out when it comes to those early SDGs. Having access to enough for all of your Welsh Grenadier squads can certainly be a boon, as well as those early incendiary nades, which you tend to always throw. There always tends to be opportunities to throw them.
Against Brits in particular, having those grenades is just so devastating because those Tommies need to be behind cover. They're not very good on the move. So if you can make them move around, dislodge them out of cover, then they do definitely suffer from it. So let's see if Pappy goes for an AEC. He doesn't have the requisition yet, and he has the resources. So perhaps he won't go for it. He may need to, though, given there's actually a mech truck.
Certainly might force his hand here, but yeah, probably unlike a lot of the UKF players that we've been seeing lately who have just been going the AEC on default. Brainless click mode. Not behind heavy cover machine, maybe the Archon Hawk Wire works.
Yeah, he should use the Archon Hawk Wire.
See, this is why everyone should use the Archon Hawk Wire, because not only does it deny cover to your enemy, it also prevents your Strum Pioneers from being trapped behind the wire.
Or you can just plant it properly. Like that works too.
No. Everyone should do the Archon Hawk Wire. It's going to be a thing.
He also should destroy the Ghost Wire here when he has the chance. He does now.
I should also be careful when I say it's going to be a thing, because the last time I said it's going to be a thing, that's how weapon racks got moved to the front of the base machine. So.
Oh yeah.
I'm pretty sure I started.
No, I will not tolerate this.
I will not tolerate this, and all of a sudden they just fixed it, and it was a thing.
Relic, we must appease Archon Hawk Summer.
Exactly.
Archon Hawk Summer.
Infantry squads can have an additional
Check this out. Pappy O'Daniel goes for increased swag sizes. Or increased squad swag. Yeah.
No, I like increased swag sizes. You should have just rolled with it. I was a big fan. It's different. It's worthwhile. It's in that position where it's just not one of the most cost-efficient ways to spend your resources. It's certainly worth, but it's just, is it worth relative to getting other things at this stage in the game?
Yeah, because it delays your Cromwell, I think is the main thing you're getting at there. And British are generally quite reliant on the Cromwell, especially as their anti-tank is a little bit slippery in the mid-game, not having access to any snares, and the PS don't work too well in mid-game. So Frost actually going for a Puma, that would have been a lot more devastating if you went for the Panzer II. That being said, Pappy actually goes for the AEC as well, so this will be a very delayed Cromwell.
It's kind of the counter to the counter here. So I don't think I got my Panzer II out in time, but my opponent thinks that I'm going for a mechanized, therefore maybe he thinks that I'm going for a Panzer II, so I'm going to go for a Boomer instead. Yeah. Ends up working out. Welsh Grenadiers have their labours brought to naught as the AEC one-shots the sandbags, and they'll be forced to retreat from this.
So the Puma is generally better than the AEC because of the range and the sight and the insta-smoke. But on Kolodny, it's rare the Puma's going to actually have a chance to utilize that extra range. Generally very close quarters combat.
Fair point.
So let's see if the Puma can find good engagements. This is a good spot as long as he stays a bit far behind. Plus he has the road, so he can chase down or escape easily.
Already another Troc out here from Frost as well.
Yeah, that's for his battle group. He wants the medics.
Contact! It's a bit touch and go.
You don't really have much choice.
Oh, no, not in the live game, of course.
Yeah, because the medics are so expensive and they require Vet 1 as well. Oh, that's Piat.
Hey, here we go.
Oh, man.
It's a dream.
Couldn't quite capitalize on that because the AEC took 2 hits. He has to be careful with his AEC.
It's at risk of taking another shot here, machine.
God.
That's a mate gun
Oh,
destroyed.
no.
Only needs one more shot. He's trying to bait it in with a Piats here.
Whoops. That was a misplay. There was no reason why the AEC should have been that far forward when it was about 3rd health. So that's unfortunate for Pappy. Loses the AEC for pretty much nothing.
Yeah, overall, very poorly microed by Pappy O'Daniel. Took shots he didn't need to, and then smoked late as well. The smoke went off as the AEC was falling.
Yeah,
He could have baited that a lot better.
the AEC does have the delay on the smoke, but it still was very late. Okay, this actually could be a wipe here.
Goodbye, Volks Grenadier squad. So had a considerable amount of time to retreat that squad, and probably too much time. He kind of forgot about it because the squad was just engaged in combat with infantry section at long range. There wasn't a lot of...
Yeah, he was probably going to lose it either way, but it might have been worth actually trying to vault the
vault,
fence
yeah.
rather than running all the way around. Okay, so that forces Pappy into a 6-pounder, which is surprising given that it's only a Puma. Because the Vickers in the church would be enough, comboed with the Piats at the south.
Potentially not wanting to invest into more Piats at this stage and still wanting an A3 threat. I'm not sure. Just with the Piats. Obviously wanting to go some Brens on these infantry sections and being quite low on munitions is Pappy O'Daniel. Could have been his thought process.
Enemy causing trouble, trying to take one of our points.
I just want British snares. Is that too much to ask, Relic?
I've almost said 3 times already this cast. It's okay, he's just 18 at the Puma.
Yeah.
Oh wait, hang on. My mistake.
Oh, there's actually a shoe mine there.
Puma almost blew
Wow,
it
how
up.
did he not detonate that? Oh, well, hang on.
Just missed.
This Puma. No attack ground. Oh! That was a close one. Jeez.
Almost spoke too soon there, machine.
Hey, even that one was a nice
Oi.
follow-up.
Yeah.
He last minute the Puma went up north along the road. It's actually a good idea in that situation where you're worried your opponent will attack around you. It's a good idea to change course rather than just keep going in a straight
The
line.
ability is ready now.
So increased squad sizes certainly delays the combo, but something else you haven't really thought of is that in a game where you've had poor munitions point control, which Pappy O'Daniel certainly has had, Frost having double munitions for a big period of this game, it gives you extra dueling potential with the Volks Grenadiers without having to spend munitions on the Bren. So it gives you that extra model to fight with, which is going to help out, especially with the Volks now getting the STGs. Section's still not really having the Brens up and running yet, only one squad with a Bren. So it gives you more fighting potential without having to spend the munitions.
Yeah, that's true. And, whoa, this is Overwatch. Overwatch Doctrine. Gorilla Punch!
I want to see the Gorilla Punch.
So maybe we'll see Frost's play of the game coming up soon. But
Really
Overwatch
keen.
is a weird commander.
We've seen so little Overwatch, and that always disappointed me because, I don't know, I just wanted to see more of it. It kind of came out, and I was just hoping we'd be casting it all the time, and then we casted it 2 or 3 times, and then it just completely fell out of meta.
It came out and everyone was like, oh my friggin' god, Goliaths are so overpowered. And then people just stopped using it, like a week later. The Goliaths are very strong. They're a bit hard to use. You have to use them defensively, but they can be absolutely deadly. And that thing's really annoying. The esport flares that will crop up every 30 seconds. I mean, and also this strafe is really strong. Sector Assault.
Sector Assault is, yeah.
For the Fatherland is pretty good. It's a good commander, but generally there are better commanders.
The only
cool
commander
ones.
with Sector Assault as well, so...
Crews are ready to carry out
Yeah,
emergency vehicles.
like you have other factions that have kind of equivalents, but yeah, for OKW, for that ability specifically, you're right, it is the only commander to have that. Well, everything in the commander.
Yeah, I was going to say, it was just, yeah.
For the Fatherland.
A capture point is being overrun.
I don't know how much this does in Coh2, but in Coh1, this was actually like the most busted ability. I believe the meta in Coh1 is just defensive.
So Goliaths versus Mortar Pits.
Ugh. So Goliaths do have a modifier where they do like ×7 damage versus emplacements, but it is hard to use them aggressively, as I said. So you're gonna have to try and weasel your way into this mortar pit.
I can't remember, does Brace save the Mortar Pit against a Goliath?
I don't know.
Or...
I don't know actually.
Honestly, it's... Were Brits even out when this commander came online, Machine? It's just, yeah.
Oh, they were.
They definitely were.
Because the Goliath didn't originally have that modifier,
Yeah.
and then they gave it a huge modifier versus emplacements.
So yeah, that would actually be nice to see, because I for the life of me, I can't remember. Seeing so little of
We have
Overwatch.
300 points remaining.
Yeah, Pappy actually running low on VPs. 300 versus the 460 of Frost.
Your forces have constructed our capture point. They're trying to take it.
What's next, Blake?
Hopefully this mortar pit starts, sorry?
What's next?
What's next? For who, my friend?
Well, either.
Bro man, Pappy Daniel. Normally I'm asking you that question. What a change up of roles here and positions. Hopefully the mortar pit starts paying off here for Pappy Daniel. He obviously wants to put some pressure onto this central VP. Really has committed a lot to it. The infantry inside the garrison. These nice echelon, really cooperating, leaving a couple of models behind to cap victory point. It's always nice. Engage units and cap victory points at the same time. So has that point captured, and it seems as though he wants to go for the north as well. And it's going to be captured up, and hopefully just stick behind some heavy cover with these Brens. Now 2 of the infantry sections having them can really set up in a nice position before he starts heading towards a medium tank. As for Frost here,
Goliath.
it's time.
He's going to have to retreat this one. He's already revealed the Goliath. He won't be able to do too much until he repairs it. Half health Goliath won't be able to charge up to any infantry squads. He's going to lose it here. He's not careful. Oh, there it goes.
A little bit of a throwaway there. Should have seen Frost back it away.
They do only really work defensive. You want to leave it behind a hedge, behind a building, some shot block. It even cloaks as well when it's in cover. So they're good kind of as just mobile demos, but you don't want to be attacking with them, as tempting as it is. Probably
because they move, so...
the most effective thing, really, is actually cutting off someone's retreat.
Yeah.
But that's not going to happen in a 1v1. It'll happen in team games for sure if you get a nice flank. But in 1v1s, it's unlikely you're going to be able to sneak a Goliath into someone's retreat. And even then, blobbing isn't as common, or like at least mass retreats isn't as common in 1v1s.
However, Frost certainly not deterred here, going to be building another Goliath up. I was really hoping he'd give me an indication what he was going for with this 900 manpower float, but
wow.
He hasn't really indicated anything. He obviously has the Panzer headquarters up,
Yeah.
in the north here. So in terms of options, he has a lot of them. It's just I just don't see why we don't have another squad coming out. At least just go for Obers. There's never a reason not to go Obers here.
There's kind of the problem with OKW is they don't get caches. So this is right now where it would be very tempting to go for a cache or two. Okay, look at this. This is nice. He's actually not going to see it too. Goes in their house. No, he sees it now.
Sees it, yeah.
Okay, now he's panicking. He could even go for the mortar pit. Oh my god, he actually may get it. Oh no, he goes for the Vickers. Yeah, he gets the Vickers.
There we go. Nice.
That was a great play because he actually flanked around the house.
Get the Vickers and the church.
Yeah, but he just recruised that one. That's no problems there for Pappy Daniel.
So what's the cost on those bad boys nowadays?
I think it's 125.
Yeah.
Let me click on a truck and find out. 100. Okay.
100. So just 100.
Yeah, just 100.
It's pretty good, dude.
What? Those Piats. And so it is actually a Comet for Pappy, and that's exactly what he wants. The best thing he can get, very multi-purpose. It'll deal with any tank that shows up other than a King Tiger, which is a way off. And yeah, I mean, for us, he could go ISGs, could go Obers. He is versing triple infantry section with 5-man squads and with Brens, so he will struggle with the infantry fights because his Volks are actually pretty low on veterancy.
Finally an Obersoldaten squad coming out here, Machine. About time.
Oh,
It's Frost in a much better position.
I thought it was a Comet, but no, it's a Cromwell.
This will probably first, yeah, force the AT option out here. Fantastic. So Frost is going to be going for the Obers as well as this Raketten. Nice way to spend that manpower.
Yeah, he retreated just in time there. Cromwell very good at wiping things. Probably no grenades yet either. Might be worth going for the grenades. They're very good defensively. If the Volks try and charge up close, you just nade them.
None of those infantry section models dropped.
Oh wow.
Retreat on full models, stays on full models. Next level model preservation there by Pappy Daniel.
So Pappy actually locked in this commander, the mobile assault. It hasn't really done anything though. It will have the Land Mattress, which is a very good commander, but I feel like this wasn't the best choice. Unless the Land Mattress does a lot of work, I don't see the synergy with what he has.
No, not really, Machine.
Our capture point.
Nothing, yeah, nothing jumps out at me, that's for sure. There's nothing really important to pop commandos on either.
I've That and he's already invested in the 5-man squad upgrade.
Yeah.
So you're less likely to use commandos if you've already paid for that squad count. You might as well just go for Tommies. At least not the 4-man commandos because they're pretty weak. Fortunately, I'm so glad the commandos aren't OP in this commander. Because like if this had OP commandos and also the land mattress, it would be too much. It's already too much as it is.
Should have had old school gammon bombs. That's what it needs. So
Old school gammon bombs. They're still that OP though.
We're losing a capture
Aren't
point.
they're not the same level of OP. They're nerfed, man.
Do they really?
Yeah. Remember at the start, the very first gammon bomb I ever used wiped 17 Ostrooper models.
They're still pretty much that broken though.
Yeah.
The gammon bombs
they are really strong, but I'm sure they got like a pretty decent nerf right at the start.
Well, they're still like
just
batshit
busted.
OP.
Oh yeah. They're crazy
Like
OP.
the bundle
yeah.
grenades.
Yeah.
But even worse. Okay.
But no, I'm pretty
Right.
sure they got changed from initial release. Like, I'm
hope so.
90% sure, because those things were just busted.
Actually, speaking of the air landing officer, his boost ability is insanely OP as well. It does something like received accuracy drop down to like 33%. The bonuses on that ability is actually insane. Wow, Obers go down to the mine.
Yeah. It's unfortunate. Frost can just reinvest though. He's got so much manpower in the bank here. There's no reason to be floating that much out. He doesn't need the KT yet. He doesn't have the fuel for it. Another squad of Obers right now is what he needs. He needs to start vetting up those Obers. Keep the next squad safe.
Yeah, Obers don't do very well at low vet, but at high vet they're very good. But it will be the land mattress, so let's see how much damage it can get done. Still standing in the fire. Actually, the Puma's vet too. It's pretty nasty with the aim shot if it's wiping squads.
Towards our victory points, 384 for Frost, 277 for Pappy O'Daniel. Our man Pappy currently 2 VPs.
Yeah, he's like, doing well at the moment, but this may change when the King Tiger arrives. Especially King Tiger plus the Sector Assault. It's going to be a nasty combination. With all the vision that he gets as well from this commander, it's going to be easy for Frost to find good engagements.
Rocket artillery unit has been sent to the battle. Damned enemies trying to take a point from us.
I want to look at his vision. Yeah, you get a lot of vision from the forward receivers.
We've hit it, machine. It's about to happen. Frost with a 1,000 manpower float.
Oh dear.
1 like equals 1 hope it's in scope. Give OKW caches. Spend that manpower on.
Yeah, I said this to you before, I'm pretty sure, but OKW, they can't have both caches and salvage. That would be far too much.
Yeah, they do need to remove
So
salvage.
if you're going to give them caches, you kind of have to remove salvage, and everyone's going to freak out. Everyone's going to be like, oh my god, don't remove salvage. What I did in my mod... Oh, hit a mine there. In my mod, I gave salvage back on the commanders that have thorough salvage. It gives them a regular salvage. But regular salvage is non-doctrinal, or rather, it is doctrinal, to compensate for having caches, which is, I think, better and more flexible. And everyone whines about asymmetry, but like, you know, strategic depth, complexity, differentiators, you know, should come first.
It's a bad retreat by Frost. One of those Volks Grenadier squads should have waited and timed out that land mattress barrage. You got to time these barrages out. Costing a Volks Grenadier squad and the Puma going down in pretty much the same instance here. Extremely costly, and we have to see a recrew. It's probably not going to be a wipe by the infantry sections.
Well, maybe. Oh, I had to move
No,
there.
I had to move.
Because I think the tree must have blocked his vision.
Yeah.
So, 3 Volks, no Obers, 3 Tommies. And Pappy actually hasn't got a lot of fuel, so he must have his hammer or something. Yeah, we got hammer. So the Comet will be coming up.
A new engineer section is waiting for
Oh, he
orders.
actually spent 40 fuel on the land mattress
Yeah,
as well.
that's probably where he spent it.
It's a
so,
huge
yeah.
fuel investment.
Yeah.
I guess you got a wipe there, didn't it? So that's paid off
did,
already.
yeah.
But that was because of that bad retreat. He retreated back through it, didn't he?
Was a bad retreat. Retreated back through the very last
Enemy
edge of the
causing
barrage.
trouble, trying to take one of our points.
Water Pit also getting work done here. We haven't seen a reinvestment for a Goliath here. Frost. Probably an intelligent choice. See the King Tiger now coming out onto the field. It has arrived. Getting an MG upgrade as well. I like not going for the Goliath. He wants to save up some munitions to use.
Oh, for the far lane.
Air support.
Nice, uses that one. And the King Tiger is going to finally arrive here. These squads have to be careful with their clumping. King Tiger is just so powerful versus infantry. Ooh.
Enters the battlefield, 2 shots, 4 models.
So there's only one AT gun. There is actually 4 Piats on the field, and the Piats are very good versus the heavy tank of the King Tiger. Very big target size, so they hit pretty often.
Yeah. And from what we've seen pretty limited Piat micro here from Pappy Daniel. But it has been pretty good. The shots have been on point. Hit a Puma earlier. It also hit a really nice max range shot on a Puma. Overall, well played.
It's hard to tell if they're fully sick attack rounds or if it's just regular shots.
Yeah.
Because you do have to attack round pretty predictively. Also, I believe they overshoot, so you want to aim below it. But anyway, the King Tiger taking a bit of damage here. Is trying to fight this AT gun head on, and it normally works, but when you're at max range, it's a little bit more difficult to do so. Once you're at medium range, you're pretty guaranteed to wipe that down. And this land mattress is going to get taken out here. He's actually barraging on the base, but nice dodges from Frost, won't lose any squads.
Yeah, realizes that the land mattress is going to get wiped and ends up just leaving it there. It was always going to go down in that situation, so finishing the barrage, potentially maybe getting a wipe, probably couple more models down is better for the trade. King Tiger could look to pressure the Water Pit here, but the Piats are going to arrive shortly. He's actually holding the brace to try and bait this in.
Okay, he has to be careful with his engineers. They're so low. He should just focus them on the King Tiger. A little bit late. He also has the Firefly coming up. He steals the land mattress. I think Frost is secretly Michael. But flanking here with the infantry section, I don't know what for though.
So get the AT grenades off, so. Focusing down the Rocket here, so probably try and recrew that one if you're on sort of the squads in. It's going to be a little bit too late, however.
Oh my god, no, the squad survives. I thought it was a wipe.
So that was an interesting play. Pappy Daniel actually crewed the mortar pit with the echelon in an attempt to, I think, make the echelon to pop out faster by evacing on the other side of the mortar pit. But he ends up just taking a King Tiger shot and bleeds all of his health. And that meant the next King Tiger shot wiped 3 models and he couldn't keep the chase going. So actually turned out to be a bit of a mistake there.
Yeah, that was risky trying to evac out, given how low the squad was. It needs to heal up and reinforce his AT gun. Actually blew up the Raketten, but since he has the Firefly as well, I think that's okay.
Has enough for tulips as well. It's going to be nice. Solid munitions investment.
We're going to have the OKW land mattress. Does it have Vet 5? I swear to God. If this is
it better have Vet 5.
No, it only has Vet 3. Okay, good.
Rip. I'm very Callum, me disappointed, machine.
He's revealed the Firefly.
He has, yeah, not on prioritized vehicles, unfortunately.
Our capture point. They're trying to take it.
And we do have the Gammon bombs as an option.
Is that a wipe? Yes, that was a wipe.
Wow.
Okay, yeah. Kind of disappeared in the icon of the other Volks Grenadier squad, but you can't merge those. So, one squad will be wiped here. Mr. Frost down to the 2 Volks Grenadiers. However, the King Tiger still up and running. Frost having used this big manpower float as well, which is nice.
Alright, OKW land mattress.
Enemy threatening a capture point.
Mostly dodged, doesn't lose anything there, just one Vickers crew.
It's a long barrage.
Yeah, it's always a long barrage with a land mattress. So it actually builds an MG34 just for VP control. It's very hard for British to dislodge the MGs. Look at this squad, it's so low. Oh, there's the tulips! Firefly coming through. There's actually the 6-pounder set up as well. This could go down here. We'll bounce some shots, but the Piats will fight any moment now.
Firefly's gonna get another shot off in a second. Firefly, ooh, I think it was the Firefly hitting.
Yeah, it was certainly something there, but King Tiger barely survives. If there was one more penetration, that would have secured it. Firefly actually diving this while, then Cromwell got hit by the Faust, so he can't dive after this.
Yeah, actually going to be blocking off the Firefly here as well, so they're going to have to back away. The Rocket thankfully taking enough damage that both of these tanks should be able to get out of dodge nice and safely. And Strum Pioneer's also going to be wiped here, Machine, which means no repairs onto that KT.
There may be the mechanized HQ repairs. Yeah, there is, but it's going to take a while.
Yeah.
This is the Rocket too, so that was a great trade for Pappy.
He's going to be happy with that.
Blowing up the
Really
Rocket.
nice chill-ups. That certainly could have been a death for the KT. I believe we saw 2 6-pounder bounces there. We saw 2 bounces of at least something, so...
Yeah. So not much pop cap left for Frost. Only has the 50, where Pappy looking pretty strong at 81 pop cap, and he already has the hammer, which means he's not far off getting a comet. And that hammer does give him access to the emergency war speed. It also gives him the tracking thing, track vehicle. Very, very important there for the Firefly. Often allows it to get an extra shot through Fog of War. Oh, and there goes the MG.
Wow, yeah, VP's also looking good here for Pappy O'Daniel. 218 compared to the 267 of Paps.
My man Paps.
MG34 wipe certainly is a boon, will allow Pappy to take control over that north side VP with MG control as opposed to Frost.
And there's still this mortar emplacement, so it's going to be hard to actually get the middle VP.
Probably see a wipe on the 6-pounder here.
He's not moving it. He's just standing in the eye
Honestly,
of the storm.
to be fair, sometimes it might be better not to move the
Yeah.
6-pounder. So as it turns out, one shell lands right where the 6-pounder was, but just the land mattress is so inconsistent with where the shells land. It's just like, if you're not going to get out of the arc by the time that the
What's
barrage
the
finishes,
point,
you
right?
might as well just stand still and cross your fingers. Difficult to cross your fingers while running with a 6-pounder, so...
Another tulips.
Enemy down
Won't
to
be a lot of
200
follow-up,
points.
but he has the munitions to burn, so there's no reason not to. He will get at least a volley of Piats off. Oh no.
Scare factor as well. King Tiger knows that Firefly is still playing around the middle of VP. Frost having to go for a Young Panzer 4 here, so he needs... Unfortunately, he needs tank wipes here, and I'm just not sure that he's going to find them. Okay, so he switches to the Panzer 4. So with the Young Panzer 4, he would have had to find tank wipes, because it wouldn't have given him any anti-infantry presence, so he would have had to wipe the Firefly, wipe the Cromwell, get them both down and out of the way, so the King Tiger had more freedom to provide its own anti-infantry capabilities. But going for the Panzer 4 probably makes more sense. That's going to help out against these Vet 3 infantry sections.
But it's also because he has 4 Piats, does Pappy. So that Yak Panzer will get forced away pretty easily. Tulips is actually on cooldown at the moment, so you can't use that for a little bit longer. King Tiger, very fearless. As he can be.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Not a whole lot penetrates that, but Pappy O'Daniel manages to retain control over the middle VP. It's not a big deal. Just, yeah, you don't really... Okay. There's a chill-ups out. However, the King Tiger was backing away, so we're going to have to see a pull forward of these tanks.
He's actually already Vet 2. The Firefly does scale pretty well. Here's the Panzer 4. It actually may kill this Firefly if the King Tiger goes back in. He needs to get one shot off here. There we go. The Firefly may die to this Panzer 4.
Double emergency war speed's going to be popped here. The Cromwell's actually focusing down the Panzer 4. That means one shot from the Firefly should be enough here. It has reloaded. It's ready to go. There's a main gun destroyer as well. The Piats fire.
Gets behind the house just in time to block that shot. Nice timing there from Frost, but Pappy recovered. Is he actually barraging the Firefly? No, he's going for all these weapons.
Yeah. Support weapons just too juicy of a target for this land mattress.
That was the Vickers? Yeah.
Enemy threatening a capture point.
I think the P4 missed a shot there, though. The war speed does give you a crazy reduction in accuracy.
Potentially looking for a dive here as well. That's no! Frost blew his last Faust there as well, Machine. Look at that. 9 munitions. He's gonna have to save up now.
Oh man.
Didn't end up working out. But he's just trying to give the King Tiger time to heal up. I thought that Pappy O'Daniel might have been looking for a dive because he was just focusing all the repairs down to the Firefly. So just keeping it out of snare range to look for a dive into this King Tiger. But the King Tiger has been repaired now.
Yeah. Yeah, very fast. Just the
More
annoying
tulips.
tulips.
Yeah.
It's just the sit back down, son. Trying to steal this. Okay, this is not a retreat path that you want to take. You actually may survive this with the Vox, but definitely not the Vickers. I think he's trying to suppress the Royal Engineers before he retreats. Pinning them. Goes. Okay, the Cromwell diving into the base. This is always risky, but as you say, not enough munitions for the Panzerfaust.
Ooh.
He has a flank on it though, and he's popping the war speed, so he's just too fast for this King Tiger. And meanwhile, the Comet gonna be tag teaming and taking over for this wounded Cromwell.
Going to be coming in now. Now his prioritized vehicle's going to be focusing this KT down. Counts the rear armor here. It's going to take one more, and the Firefly manages to find that one. Very nicely played. A fantastic, really well microed tank battle by Pappy O'Daniel.
Yeah, that's gonna be it. With the King Tiger down, Frost has no way to fight these squads. He can't fight the Comet, Cromwell. He can't fight the Tommies.
If you're wondering, that's what it looks like when a comet's in your ear. It's called a cromet. It's a mix between a grommet and a comet. So,
Right.
yeah.
Oh, this land match though actually gets one wipe, maybe even more than that. 2 wipes perhaps? No. Yeah, Pappy, a little bit embarrassing that he gave away a land mattress, which has been doing pretty well in the hands of Frost, 21 kills. But doesn't matter so much. Building the P4 could have been an absolute game changer, but losing that one prevents Frost from rebuilding his King Tiger. I think Frost just lost too many squads.
Yeah.
He just could never trade properly.
Kind of lost them in chunks as well. The stage where any player could lose squads. During big tank engagements, he lost a Vols at the same time. He lost the Puma. Lost at the same time King Tiger's taking damage. He's lost a Vols Grenadier squad and a Strum Pioneer squad.
Yeah, and it wasn't just the infantry, it was also the Raketans. He lost quite a few. It was at least 2 Raketans, maybe even 3. And so he always fell behind in AT, which allowed Pappy's armor to just run all over this King Tiger. And there wasn't a sector assault for any synergy.
No.
So this commander didn't actually do anything. The Goliaths, he wiped with Vickers, which was recrewed. He got some vision, but realistically, he didn't achieve much with it. He just blew through 200 munitions, which would have given him access to the strafe. The sector assault, whatever it's called. I swear there is another ability called sector assault. Like one of the British ones is probably called assault
Sounds
sector
right.
area attack tactics. Maybe I'm thinking of raid operations. Anyway.
Supply line's been cut.
They really are so ambiguous, those names.
They are.
Ambiguous and ubiquitous, just for a combination of big words.
$33 VPs left. Since Frost is contractually obligated to close this game out, and
Yeah, otherwise his
just for
sponsors
swag.
will get very upset if
Yeah,
he doesn't
yeah.
honor his contract of closing this game out.
Pappy having so many munitions that he just blows some tulips on a Panzer headquarters. He's in a very nice position.
I just love tulips so much though. They're so fun to use because they're a skill shot.
They're in a good spot now.
Yeah, they... Because I feel like the majority of micro in Coh2, for tank battles at least, there isn't a lot of it. A lot of it's RNG, a lot of it's just kind of who can pull in the AT gun the first.
Capture point is being
So then when you have something which is so skill based, like when you're hitting moving targets with the tulips, it's really fun. And I wish there was somehow more micro in tank battles in Coh2. For example, side armor, or even maybe if there was like
They're at 25 points.
angling of shots,
Yeah.
which would give you a higher chance of bouncing. Because if you hit a tank on an angle, you'll bounce. It's things like that. But I know Coh2 isn't trying to be this hardcore simulator like Men of War. And if I was really that serious about wanting all this realism crap, I would just play Men of War.
Can you say crushes?
Yeah, that was nasty. Like, I don't want so much the realism as I just want micro in some way.
Yeah.
Because I think infantry has that.
You just
There's
want more skill differentiators when it comes to tank
Yeah,
battles.
because there's a lot of stuff in infantry battles, but for tanks there isn't actually that much. Well, at least for For tank destroyers, there is, because you got to be kiting, you got to be facing the right.
I'd still really like side armor.
Yeah.
I feel like that would be a nice way to add, if it was implementable.
And it would just remove so much RNG. When you get a rear armor shot, even though the tank is pretty much facing the front, because the back third of the side counts as rear armor.
Yeah.
Anyway, these Rakeds are being cleaned up. This game is well and truly over. GG. Pappy closes this one out. It was a nice game by Pappy.
It was.
He still had the mobile assault commander, but it was an off-meta composition. He went the upgrades pretty early on. It was a nice play. I like that. I was a big fan. Because really the only other Brit play that I've seen work properly in competitive play is the Paula strat, which is just the Cromwell spam into balance cover, which is not very fun to watch. Frost floated up a lot of manpower too. We did mention that a lot. But yeah, unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't really a big turning point of the game, to be honest. I mean, that 1,000 manpower should have been an Ober's squad, and that's probably the main flaw in it. But after that, it was just like, it was kind of squads for the sake of having squads and spending the manpower. Because the Ober's squad was obviously very important, and you should have got it earlier because it gave him better trading against the infantry sections. But after that, he spent it because it went on a Raketten, and then once the King Tiger came out and reinforcement came through, and he built another Sturm Pioneer squad, of course, that kind of spent all the manpower. So it's not really a big deal floating up that much if you have a plan for it. But he should have got the Ober squad a little bit earlier, would have helped in trade. But overall, I feel like Pappy or Daniel just outplayed him. So
I think also, at the time, the game was pretty even.
Yeah.
Frost still had half of the map despite the float. The real problem is when you are struggling, is when you have a third of the map, you don't have much territory, and you are also then floating 1,000 manpower. And it'd be like, man, you would probably have more map control if you had the resources spent. But in that case where you have your fair share of the map and you're like, I don't really need a lot in particular. But anyway, that'll wrap us up for now. Thank you for watching this Company of Heroes 2 Shoutcast. Hope you enjoyed it. We are the Generals Gentlemen. Thank you for watching, and subscribe for more RTGS content.